Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into Children's Arena here on the first day of February for Arena Lacrosse League action in Canada's Motor City known as Oshawa, Ontario. It's the undefeated Whitby Steelhawks with a 7-0 record taking on the Six Nations Snipers. The first encounter between these two teams in the 2025 year. Currently, though, the Steelhawks are undefeated at 4-0 in this building. It's the first visit into Children's Arena for the 3-4 Snipers. Let's quickly get into the starting goaltenders before this duel here in the Arena Lacrosse League's East Division. It will be the Six Nations native Dustin Hill with a 3-4-0 record, 14.33 goals against average, 7.17 save percentage, over 376 minutes between the pipes. He's already amassed 226 saves. Opposing him at the other end of the blue carpet will be Alex Coote, the Whitby, Ontario native. He won back-to-back ALL championships with Oshawa in 2017 and Whitby in 2018. He's coming in 4-0-0, a 10.73 goals against average, and an 8.15 save percentage over 240 minutes between the pipes. Boissonneau and Sugihara go to the center of the floor. It will be Sugihara's 30th birthday tomorrow. He's got some fans in attendance here today from Seattle and Philadelphia. I don't even have friends that'll come 10 minutes from my house, and this guy's got people coming from all across North America. Will he win the original draw? He fights for the biscuit, but the Steelhawks are the ones that are going to pull away with it. The loose rubber comes along to the near wall. Goodchild takes a hit from Konori. In fact, he prized the biscuit loose temporarily. Eventually, the Steelhawks will settle it down with 15 seconds left on the possession to start this game. Pfeiffer comes into the zone, looks to take a rip. And they're going to say this missed the net, as now there's only 5 seconds remaining on the shot clock, allowing the Snipers to come away with it. The Snipers coming off of a tough 23-11 loss to the Brampton Express. Despite outshooting Brampton 60-55 over those 4 periods, they trailed 9-0 after the opening frame and couldn't dig themselves out of that hole. Let's see what they do on their first offensive possession of the game. That's Patterson getting it down low. First save from Alex Coote, denying Briley Maxwell the opportunity to knock the goose eggs off the board. Transitioning the other way comes Whitby. Thanks for joining us here. It's East Division action. A chance on the near side. Great stop by Hill. The rebound's there, and then a loose pass, that time intended to go into the corner, allows the Snipers to free themselves back the other way. Andrew Vandenberg sandwiched up against the half boards. He'll get some support from Stotts, and Stotts, rightfully so, sticking up for his teammate. And we get some pushing and shoving here a mere 90 seconds into this game. Again, the first time these two teams have met each other here in 2025. For the Snipers, they've actually lost their last 2 games to both the Brampton Express and Paris River Wolves. Their last victory came 15-9 over the Oshawa Bears back on January 12th at the Iroquois Lacrosse Arena. And it does look like we are getting coincidental minors potentially here, although I only see a Steelhawk going to the box for now. McLaughlin and Pfeiffer going to talk with the officials at the mid-floor. And if I can, well, read lips here from the far official, it does look like Stotts will join the Steelhawk in the sin bin. So we're going to get 5-a-side lacrosse with coincidental minors handed out here. 13:34 remaining in the opening frame. Now, I mentioned before the Steelhawks 4-0 in this building. That includes 2 exciting overtime victories, 11-10 over Brampton, and recently 19-18 versus Toronto. In fact, that game versus Toronto, they were tied 7-7 after the first, and Whitby was leading 11-10 at half, but it would be Boissonneau grabbing the overtime winner, short-handed nevertheless. It does look like the Steelhawks, though, are going short-handed here. They have a penalty kill operating at 67%. The Snipers' power play is at 52%. The loose change is gobbled up by the short-handed crew of the Steelhawks. And they're just going to wisely launch this one down the floor, awaiting it there. As back come the Snipers, it's Ty Argent. Argent so far on the season has 5 goals and 17 assists. That's Whitlow to the far side. Stopped by Coote. Rebound pops out. Chance there, but it was Cameron York. Or no, I apologize. Jeremy Bomberry being denied. Bomberry, a Six Nations native, leading this team with 26 points so far in the regular season. That one hit for Verde and allows the Steelhawks to come back the other way short-handed. Down the far wing, electing to put on the brakes instead, and going over to the far side will be Braden McGregor. Back at mid-floor, Cameron York looks to sprint towards the net. This one deflected, so there won't be an over and back. Zulman got befuddled that time. Great sort of cheeky poke stick from Landon Sinfield to allow Zulman to not know where it was. Short-handed, Whitby wisely will just, well, run out the possession clock. So now only 30 seconds remains on the minor penalty for the Snipers to try and grab the first goal of the game. Jaden Patterson at the top of the world. They rotate it. There's Avery Steinbach-Parker on the near side. They do lose it, though, and that's Quinn Halen getting it up in front of his bench to the captain and Liam Osborne. Osborne barging the door, tries to go 5-0, stopped by Hill. The rebound was there, but actually it was shot over the boards here at Children's Arena, and it will give the Snipers possession back. Crossing over the mid-floor is Avery Steinbach-Parker. So far in the regular season, he is the leading assist getter on this team with 18 assists and 26 points. And again, the first meeting between these two teams in 2025. The Steelhawks looking to stay undefeated so far, coming in with their 7-0 record. Pfeiffer to Goodchild. Goodchild thought he had a seam, elects to give it to his teammate, though, and that's Luke Keenan. Keenan, who's also suited up for the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club, couldn't handle it. And Pfeiffer, realizing that time was expiring, takes an innocent shot down to Hill, who's going to settle it down for his assistant captain. Mike McLaughlin to Kalen Smith. Smith now to the top of the world to Briley Maxwell. There's the far side now, and that's Bomberry. Bomberry was trying to find Maxwell. It missed his stick, though. And great defense between these two teams early. Remember, Six Nations coming off of a game where they gave up 23 goals. And as I say that, put it up on the board. The Whitby Steelhawks score. That's Dustin Burkoff, a gentleman that actually stood up for the Ottawa team in the NLL recently, back here in the Arena Lacrosse League, and he's got a goal. What do you know? It's 1-0 for the Steelhawks. And again, as I mentioned before, the last game for the Steelhawks, they came after an exciting 19-18 overtime win. So Dustin Burkoff getting credited with that goal. Trying to respond right now is Whitlow, was looking for that top left corner. It missed the net. It'll be over and back, so it'll be Avery Steinbach-Parker having to leave this ball. Bit of confusion here by the Snipers as Steinbach-Parker will go off for a change. The Steelhawks with a 1-0 lead, courtesy of Dustin Burkoff. Look to add to it. It's a shoulder shrug stop from Dustin Hill. Hill, as I mentioned before, a second-team All-Star in this league in 2024. Hill with another great stop as Pfeiffer had been spilled in the high slot. Hess, wearing number 92 this afternoon for the Snipers, crosses over mid-floor and gives it over to the near side to Briley Maxwell. Maxwell down low to Ty Argent. Little give-and-go feed. They try and go across, and it's the defender wisely picking it off in Boissonneau. Quinn Halen to the retreater in Luke Keenan. Keenan thought about taking the shot, instead gives it to the near wall. That's Hyland into the slot, and they score! Cole Hannaran gets the goal, and less than 6 minutes into this game, it's already 2-0 for the Whitby Steelhawks. I'm sure Snipers fans are tired of me saying this already, but again, they're coming off of a game where they coughed up 23 goals, and they were down 9-0 after the first frame. In fact, before West Whitlow could even make it a 9-1 game, it quickly was a 13-2 game when Keelan Pylon got the hat trick in that contest. Whitby right back to the attack. They just missed Dustin Hill to the right side, and as a result, it'll allow the Snipers leeway to come back the other way. Jaden Patterson crawling down the near wall into Steelhawk territory. Takes a pick from Whitlow, goes across the floor. Now that's Avery Steinbach-Parker. Backtracking, looking for the low shot. Alex Coote with the save. The rebound eludes Jeremy Bomberry at the mid-floor. And now it will be the Steelhawks with numbers back into sniper territory. The trailer gets the shot and scores! Owen Orpana with the goal. And man, the torpedoes here in Oshawa on your Saturday afternoon. It's already 3-0 now for Whitby. So Burkhoff, Hanaran, and Orpana have all gotten goals here in the opening frame. Sugahara wins that draw cleanly. He is the face-off specialist for the Snipers. He'll quickly get off the floor for an offensive weapon. However, Allen struggling in his own zone with the captain like a dog on a bone, not allowing him any real estate to work with. Osborne will now go off for a change. But Whitby with a fresh 30 in the Snipers zone. Backtracking their way out was Luke Keenan. Keenan gets the ball back. Nice move. Keenan with the shot, and it's stopped by Hill. That's Stotts, who sat in the sin bin to start this game less than 90 seconds in. Now to Allen, and Allen has an exit plan for the visitors. He'll be sandwiched at mid-floor. The ball comes loose, but his teammate bails him out that time, and Eric Poirier. Poirier looking around at his options right now. Poirier is going to wait for the fresh man off the bench. And now Kalen Smith tries to attack the Whitby defense. The visitors looking for their first goal of this game. Only 4 seconds left on possession, though. They're going to have to get something towards the net, and they do right now. Alex Coote, point-blank save, as it was a golden opportunity for the Snipers to get the goose egg off the board. Nate Wood, he'll come off the floor, but remember, in that last game, he had a 5-point game in that overtime victory over the Toronto Monarchs. Goodchild tries to go low left side, denied by Hill. And some tomfoolery behind the play will give the visitors the possession of the Indian rubber ball. So Lucas Coote, as I mentioned before, came into this game with 185 saves. He made a nasty one on that last possession for the Snipers. Now a miscue allows Whitby to come back in. The captain sets up his teammate beautifully. And Dustin Burkhoff, back-to-back jacks here in the opening cue. Seemed to be some miscommunication coming off of the Snipers bench. There was a bit of a miscue at mid-floor. It allowed Osborne, the captain, to just crawl right into the zone. And he fed the trailer, who was Burkhoff. And go figure, Dustin Burkhoff, who had a heck of a campaign for the Coburg Kodiaks in Major Series lacrosse, has a huge impact to start this game for the Whitby Steelhawks. As Ty Argent looks towards the skies, he thought he had his 6th goal of the season for the Hamilton, Ontario native, who was selected by Buffalo in the 5th round back in the 2020 NLL entry draft. It does look like we're getting our first official time out here on your Saturday afternoon here in Arena Lacrosse League Action's East Division. We'll be back with more action after this. 4-0 is the score with 6:31 remaining in the first frame here between the undefeated 7-0 Whitby Steelhawks and the 3-4 Six Nations Snipers. The Steelhawks looks like they will lose the ball at mid-floor. A huge hit led by Zulin, but there was a delayed penalty coming up to the Snipers. In fact, it might have been Zulin who was taking the penalty, so he thought, hey, maybe I'll get one more shot in while I can. And he will head off to the sin bin for 2 or less. The Steelhawks power play operating at 57% coming into this game. Opposing them is the shorthanded crew of the Snipers. Their penalty killers are operating at 36% coming in to Children's Arena here on your Saturday. It's the first day of February, minus 20 outside with the wind chill, but the Arena Lacrosse League action is just heating up here at Children's Arena. So they move the ball around the perimeter. Here's Pfeiffer at the top of the world. It will be cut across the floor, but not being able to handle the pass cleanly. As now, Orpana, who's already got a goal in this game, Hill squeezes it down. In fact, that right between the pad and the knee, as that ball dangerously could have rolled into the net. Cameron York, short-handed, waits for support. Now on the far side, that's Ty Argent. Argent in front of the Whitby bench. Bounces this one off the floor to Whitlow. 1:10 remains here on the power play. Argent, short-handed, try to get crafty with it. And after the hit, the officials, I think, are giving the ball back to the Snipers, and they are. So the Snipers get lucky there because that gives them another 20 seconds to kill off of this penalty with Mitch Zulin sitting in the penalty box. Whitlow trying to keep it for the penalty killers and does nicely. And then a long distance shot from Avery Steinbach Parker just shows you can never take your eye off the play. Lucas Coote had to be sharp even with his team up by a man on the floor. Luke Keenan drops it back for Goodchild. Goodchild with fresh legs coming off of the bench. 15 seconds left on possession. Only 25 seconds left on the power play. Goodchild, little give and go. Goodchild rips it and scores. The monsoon of offense continues here for the Whitby Steelhawks. They now have a 5-0 lead, courtesy of the power play goal from Goodchild. And it does appear like the coaching staff of Darcy Powlis is going to make a goaltender change here. And in fact, for the first time this season, we're going to see Jackson Longboat go between the pipes here for the Snipers. So making his ALL debut in 2025. Another face-off win by Sugihara. Unfortunately, now it's the Boissonneau and the Steelhawks coming back the other way. First shot on to Longboat. And Jackson Longboat makes the save, and you hear the sticks clapping off of the Six Nations bench. They applaud their backup goaltender going in and making a great stop immediately. 4:10 remaining in this opening frame. Trying to step into this one was Jaden Patterson, but it's blocked by the Whitby defender and goes into the far corner. Picked off of the blue rug, and a nice underhand chug that time from Briley Maxwell. Or actually, I apologize, that was Wes Whitlow. So Whitby with a 5-0 lead. Dustin Burkhoff with 2 goals. Orpana and Hannaran with a goal. And Goodchild with a power play marker. And Whitby looks like they're hunting more offense here with their 7-0 record coming into today. 5 seconds left in possession. The bench shouting instructions. They missed the net, so possession will go back to the visitors in the Snipers. Next time the Snipers are in action, they'll be taking on the Toronto Monarchs at the Toronto Rock Athletic Center next Saturday, and that game will take place at 2 p.m. The Snipers would love to get the offense going. Remember, they coughed up 23 goals in their last game and only scored 11. Lucas Coote with another nice save. Rebound pops out, though, to Osborne. The captain, Osborne, tried to throw this one back to John Weller, but it was just out of the reach of Weller. Weller avoiding the harassment of Stotts. Luke Keenan to the player fresh off the bench, and Tyler Goodchild, who again has that power play marker. Goodchild. Pfeiffer almost feathered a beautiful pass to Landon Sinfield, but the Snipers will come back the other way through Chandler Allen. Allen with 2.5 to go in the opening frame. Drops it back for Patterson. Patterson retreats to the near half wall. Patterson looks around at his options and goes to the top of the world instead to Briley Maxwell. Maxwell now to Whitlow. Whitlow creeping down. Whitlow, pass was intercepted. Oh my word. Nate Woods read him like a book. And now with the collision at mid-floor, the officials are giving the visitors the ball back. So Ty Argent will take over, the Hamilton, Ontario native, who had 11 goals with the Snipers in 2020 and recorded 29 points in that campaign. Steinbach Parker looking to rip this one and does, but they're saying no goal. Oh my word. The Snipers thought they had broken the goose egg off the board here at Children's Arena, and the officials take it back. Now it's Owen Orpana, who's already got a goal in this game. Orpana grabs the biscuit now. Orpana looking for a second helping. Longboat has been sharp after taking over for Dustin Hill, the starting goaltender for Six Nations. And now, can we see a little offense out of him? He was trying to stretch the floor all the way up to Jerry Stotts, who was somewhat cherry-picking on that play. So the Steelhawks settle it back down in Sniper territory, already with a 5-0 lead. A loose stick is on the floor right now on the near wall. Whitby shoots and they score. They finally solve Longboat. Remember, he came in after it was 5-0 and a goaltender change was made, and he looked to have some answers at least for this undefeated Steelhawks team until that last opportunity. Sugahara will go back to the center of the floor. Possession so important in this sport. Ferrerde beats him on this affair, but there's a lacrosse stick symphony for the loose change at mid-floor. Dustin Burkhoff, he's already on the hat trick watch. Shoulder shrugged away this time by Longboat on the right side. Mitch Zulin, who's already taken a penalty in this game and as a result saw Goodchild score to make it, well, a 5-0 contest. It's now 6-0 as we approach half a minute remaining here in the first. Remember, the Snipers were outscored 9-0 in the first quarter of their last game. So trying to avoid back-to-back games of being shut out in the opening frame. A bouncer onto Luke Coote. That almost crawled through the 5-hole, but the goaltender from Whitby shuts down the door. And it looks like he's debating going off the floor and will. So there's going to be an extra attacker now for Whitby. 10 seconds left in the frame. 6-0's the score. 4 seconds left. They're going to have to hurry the opportunity, and they do. With 1.6 seconds left, they've scored again, and it's back-to-back from number 10 for the Steelhawks. So you saw Lucas Coote make the save on the bouncer trying to go to his 5-hole. He wisely crept towards the bench. As soon as the Steelhawks got into Sniper's zone, they got off for the extra attacker. 6-on-5 lacrosse works for the home team. And as a result, after the opening period of play, it's 7-0 for the Whitby Steelhawks with their 7-0 record coming into the day. It is the best record in all of arena lacrosse. There is a team, though, out west called the Shooting Eagles in Langley, BC, that are currently 8-1. That does it for the opening frame. 7-0 is the score here from Oshawa, Ontario. We're back here in Children's Arena. 7-0 the score for the Whitby Steelhawks after the opening 15 minutes of action. And it's Liam Aston, by the way, wearing number 10. He usually wears number 23 with back-to-back goals to end that first quarter. Now the Snipers trying to get on the board. Crashing through the crease this time was Jeremy Bomberry. Bomberry's been their leading goal getter so far with 13 so far on the season. In fact, he had a 6-point game over Oshawa Outlaws in that 18-13 win earlier in the season. So Aston and Burkhoff both on hat trick watches. A chance for a breakaway for the Snipers. Ty Argent cuts in. and he can't get the shot off. Stotts, though, the trailer, couldn't find him, and now numbers the other way for the home team. Burkhoff, give and go with Aston. Aston lost it, Burkhoff got it back. Dustin Burkhoff slows up the play, and they're going to change some personnel right now. Are the Steelhawks with Highland changing on the fly. Coming off the bench and scoring, oh my word. Owen Orpana with his second helping. That's the third Steelhawk with his second marker on your Saturday afternoon. So again, not to quote, Yogi Berra too much on this broadcast, but a little deja vu all over again if you are the Snipers. They were down 9-0 after the first frame in their last game against the Brampton Express. They lost that game 23-11, and unfortunately they found themselves down 7-0 after the opening frame of this one. And man, oh man, the Steelhawks are being relentless, to put it lightly. Pfeiffer with a nasty little move, but Whitlow and Faraday were having a bit of a bickering behind the play, and the official is only sending one to the box. So the assistant captain and Whitlow will sit in the sin bin for 2 or less here with 13:49 remaining before the half. And if you're a Snipers fan, you got to be shaking your head a little bit going, wait a minute, we had a break after it was 7-0. We had a chance to reset and get back on the right ship. Well, unfortunately, it looks like we're getting more of the same here in the second frame. Pfeiffer, back to Osborne. Osborne with the shot. Looking behind him was Longboat. He's bailed out by his defenseman. Zulian trying to get away from the captain. Zulian makes his way into Whitby territory. He's got some penalty killers changing on the bench. Has to be careful for an over and back, and Osborne just pushed him over enough to give the Steelhawks the ball back. The captain to the trailer. Oh, and a chance there for Orpana to get the hat trick, but it's denied by Longboat. Osborne directing traffic with Pfeiffer giving and going. Aston to Osborne. Aston to Pfeiffer. They try to go across the floor, a little tic-tac-toe action, but it hit the back of the noggin of a Sniper defender, and possession runs out here. So with 1:04 remaining on the minor penalty, it will be the Snipers shorthanded again coming into this game with a penalty kill operating at 36%. They've already given up a power play goal in that first period, though, to Goodchild. The Snipers short-handed. It actually hit the back of the mesh. An optical illusion that time for the Snipers fans, thinking that they might have taken the goose egg off the board. 36 seconds remains on this power play. It is Goodchild who did score the power play marker in that first frame, now giving it over to the far side. Sinfield now creeping down low, right into the chest that time of Longboat, though. That was Hannaran looking for a second goal. So Allen, with 21 seconds left on possession and less than 10 seconds left on the power play, this should all but do it for the man advantage for the Steelhawks. The Snipers will go back to five-a-side lacrosse here and look to get the first goal of the game. Steinbach Parker's shot misses the net, hits the end wall, and bounces in front of the Six Nations bench. They never hit the net, though, so that cost them possession, and now Whitby takes back over. Again, an 8-0 lead with Burkhoff scoring twice. Aston scoring twice. Aston's got the ball right now in his possession. Big stop from Orpana. Or on Orpana, I should say. McGregor saves that from going over the halfway mark. Luke Keenan looks to go towards the net. Orpana again looking at his options. That's Aston. Aston crawling down. The hat trick is denied for now, as again it is Longboat who took over duties from Dustin Hill after it was a 7-0 game. Boissonneau did a great job of picking off that pass, but he went right through his goalie's crease, and as a result, the Snipers will take back over. A chance to do some damage. Here with 10 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the second frame, it's a stop from Lucas Coote. Coot's been looking great. Now back the other way. Highland's denied. Trying to go to that top corner on the right side and just getting enough of it was Longboat. Now avoiding a sandwich at mid-floor was Nate Woods. And Woods gets an applause from his bench as he's going to go off for a change. So now the Steelhawks, Stotts, look to high rung, good child, and looks like Stotts might be getting a penalty here. Stotts trying to mix it up right now, and he's trying to do anything to get his team going. And we are going to get a fight here, but not much of one, as being ragdolled right down in front of the Whitby bench will be Jerry Stotts. That was Dustin Burkhoff, by the way. Not a surprise, he's always played that big brother role with his Coburg Kodiaks, and looks like he's doing a very similar thing here for the Steelhawks. I don't mind that from Jerry Stotts for numerous reasons. His team's down 8-0. They are looking for a spark of any kind, and you don't want to be just pushed around in your first meeting between the Steelhawks and your first game here at Children's Arena in 2025. Now, as the officials get together here, it'll be interesting to see if they actually give the extra minor penalty to Stotts and the Snipers. Remember, this all started from him roughing up Goodchild, and then Dustin Burkhoff came out of nowhere to defend his teammate. So again, as we get this all sorted out, I want to thank you for joining us from Children's Arena here in Oshawa, Ontario on the first day of February. It's all Arena Lacrosse League action in the East Division. The undefeated Whitby Steelhawks, the best record in all of the Arena Lacrosse League. There is the 8-1 Shooting Eagles, though, hot on their tail out in Langley, BC. So Osborne and it looks like we might take a quick break here at All Arena Lacrosse just to see when we can get this all settled up. So out of that melee, it's actually Dustin Burkhoff getting the extra minor penalty. It'll put the Snipers to the man advantage. The penalty kill for the Steelhawks operating at 67%, and they're going to say the Snipers scored. I believe that's Ty Argent with the wraparound attempt on the right side of Lucas Coot. It took till 10:04 remaining in the second quarter, but the Snipers finally solve the Whitby, Ontario goaltender. So for Ty Argent, his 6th goal of the campaign, his 23rd point. Again, this is a gentleman that recorded 29 points, including 11 goals with the Snipers back in 2020. Boiseno and Sugahara battle for it at mid-floor. Boiseno, though, is going to come away with this after having the overtime winner shorthanded in their last game in that 1918 victory over the Toronto Monarchs. Goodchild. Looks like he lost it on that far half wall, but Whitby has it back at mid-floor. Nate Woods going to drop this back through Hamley, and now it's Boiseno to the trailer off the bench. Luke Keenan, fresh legs off the bench with 8 seconds left in this possession. Looking into the stick, but it wasn't there, was Hannaran. Hannaran trying to go long distance, whistles this past the ears of Longboat, and it will give the Snipers the ball back. McLaughlin waiting for fresh legs off the bench. To the near side now to Armitage. Colton Armitage. Looks to take a long shot, and he does. Coot denies Steinbach Parker from distance. Now trying to stretch the floor is Whitby, but that went over the glass. They were trying to find Landon Sinfield crawling up the blue carpet. Brandenburg. Steinbach Avery. There was a pick sent there by the Snipers that sent Whitlow to the ground. Back the other way is Osborne. Top cheddar, because it tastes better. And it's a 9-1 game for the Steelhawks with 8:38 remaining before the halftime break. To be honest with you, I'm not trying to be biased here. I thought Whitlow was the one that got, upheld on that pick, and it should have given the Snipers the ball back. Instead, the officials disagreed with this broadcaster's opinion, gave Whitby the ball back, which allowed Osborne, their captain, to just race on in. And you can just see it on the body language right now on these Snipers, not just on their bench, but as I say that, they respond. That's Sugihara with the goal. And an early birthday present maybe, as the gentleman's going to turn 30 years old tomorrow. And as I mentioned before, fans from Philadelphia, fans from Seattle, I can't get friends here that are 10 minutes away to help me move a couch. It's incredible what Arena Lacrosse League does. It brings everybody back together, and Sugihara, he's feeling it right now, folks, after that goal. He's brought his team within 7. So Ty Argent and Sugihara right now with the lone markers for the visitors. They are looking for more, though. That's Ty Argent. Argent sent free. Argent trying to go top shelf. Lucas Coote denies him, but the visitors grab the ball back. Now Coote tried to be sharp. The Snipers really feeling it right now. It is a game of momentum. And again, not to keep repeating the broken record, down 9-0 after the first in that 23-11 loss. They were down 7-0 to start after the first of this one. Pfeiffer goes to the far wall. Sinfield, I think that hit the post. So that does give a fresh 20 back on the clock. And McGregor drops it back. Pfeiffer gets free, sets up a teammate, Aston. Aston again looking for the hat trick. Now he's behind the net, sets it out for Pfeiffer, and he scores. Devin Pfeiffer, the Oshawa, Ontario native, with his 16th goal of the season. This is a guy that's averaging 6.4 points per game. He had 4 seasons at Mercyhurst University where he scored 205 points before being drafted in 2021, 37th overall by the Georgia Swarm. So with 7:15 remaining before the halftime break, it looked like for just a couple moments there that the Snipers had broken it up and were starting to get momentum back into their sails. That's quickly broken up, though, by the captain and Osborne and followed up by Devin Pfeiffer. Longboat trying to stretch the floor just out of the reach of Zulian. Zulian's going to try and grab this along the end wall. The Snipers looking to get back to 500. Lucas Coote lays on his back. It's actually in front of him, though. And it looks like we are going to get an official's timeout here with 6:42 remaining in the second frame. 10-2 for the Whitby Steelhawks here in Arena Lacrosse League action in the East Division. Welcome back into Children's Arena here with 6:40 remaining in the second quarter. An 8-goal lead for the Whitby Steelhawks, looking to remain undefeated and looking to go 8-0 here in Oshawa, Ontario. Taking several hacks to make the play was Hanneran. He's already got a goal in that opening frame. Stopped right off of the mast that time of Longboat. The rebound goes all the way down to the floor to the other goaltender in this match, and Lucas Coote. Whitlow picks off the pass, attempted by Orpana, who's already got 2 goals in this game. Up the floor is Eric Poirier. Poirier tried to get into that far corner to Steinbach Parker, but an opportunity missed. Sends the Steelhawks back the other way. It just stayed out. Longboat was looking to his left. The ball scooted out to the right, and it just went across the goal crease. Now Wittich to Steinbach Parker. The Snipers with 2 goals in this game, courtesy of Ty Argent and Kanori Sugihara. Looking for goal number 3 here with 5:30 remaining in the second quarter. They try to go 5-0, and Lucas Coote once again shuts down the door. Coot, as I mentioned before, won back-to-back Arena Lacrosse League championships in 2017 and 2018 with Oshawa and Whitby, respectively. He also won a Creators Cup. As it is, the Steelhawks once again continuing to roll. I believe that was Luke Keenan with the Geno. So now it's an 11-2 game, and this is where you start to talk strategy a little bit, if you will. I mean, if you are the Steelhawks, it doesn't look like they need any more goaltending, or any more offense, I should say, as we are getting another goaltender switch. Dustin Hill, who started this game with a 3-4-0 record and a 14.33 goals against average, was replaced by Longboat after giving up the 7th goal of the game. After Longboat gave up 4, Hill's going back in between the pipes for Paulus and the Snipers. Sugahara, who's got a goal in this game, looks to cut into the Steelhawks zone. Looks for some support, but it's not necessarily there. Poirier to Zulian. Zulian crawls into Whitby's zone. Maxwell, Briley Maxwell, pitch and catch into the far corner. 7 seconds left on possession, though. They're going to have to fire something towards the net. Now it's Maxwell doing so, and another stop by Coot. Now Coot stretches the floor up. It's Piper scores! Oh my word. Devin Piper, who came into this game leading the team in goals with 15, assists with 30, and points with 45. But that play has to be highlighted by the goalie and Lucas Coot. He makes the save and goes, oh, wait a minute. I got a stud on the other end of that blue carpet. I'm just going to launch this ball. About 95% of the play was that pass from Coot, finished off by the forward. So now leading by 10 here at home are the Whitby Steelhawks. Brandenburg looking to mix it up behind the play this time with the guy that just scored in Pfeiffer, and the officials are trying to separate them. I don't blame Pfeiffer because I'd be pointing at the scoreboard, although I remember a Montreal Canadian did that a couple weeks ago to Ryan Reeves, and then Toronto ended up scoring 7 goals and winning the game. So the officials trying to settle things down. I believe we're getting coincidentals here with 4:24 remaining in the second quarter. The Steelhawks' next game, by the way, will be at Brampton at the Brampton Memorial Arena next Friday. That's Friday night at 8 p.m. And barring a miracle, it looks like they'll be entering into that game with an 8-0 record, the only undefeated team left in both the East and the West divisions of Arena Lacrosse League. So Aston, who's already on the hat trick watch, along with Dustin Burkhoff, and it's a pitch and catch between those two right now, coincidentally. Now trying to rip this one home from distance was Hanneran. Aston changing on the fly. 3 seconds left on possession. Trying a long distance shot. It won't go for Orpana, who's also on the hat trick watch. So remember, Ty Argent and Sugahara have the 2 goals for the Snipers. There's 3 Steelhawks on a hat trick watch right now. Orpana, Aston, and Burkhoff. Kalen Smith, he's denied at close range from Lucas Coop, but it will give the Snipers some clock to work with. Argent in the near corner, throws it out to Bomberry. Bomberry looking around, takes a shot right into the chest, though, of Coot. And I like how Coot takes that extra precaution, even though the ball's in front of him. He kind of locks up the back side of the 5-0 and goes, I don't want anything slipping between those legs. Fresh personnel for the Steelhawks here, leading by 10. 4-on-4 lacrosse for another 53 seconds. That one hit the bar, and now the Snipers pull away with it. Zulian, 2-on-3, into Steelhawks zone. Off of the bench from Zulian was Steinbach Parker, but he couldn't bury it. Keeping this one from going over the halfway mark was Eric Poirier. Poirier waits for some support and gives it to Steinbach Parker. So 10 seconds left on possession for the Snipers here. It's Whitlow. Whitlow thrown down to the floor and tried to pass it across the floor in the process. Coot makes the save and once again puts that hand behind me going, wait a minute, I'm not going to make sure there's any cute mistakes happening. Osborne goes into the teeth of the Snipers defense, backtracks though, and feeds a teammate in Hanneran. Penalties are over. We're back to 5-a-side lacrosse here with 2:20 remaining in the second frame. It's a 10-goal lead for the Steelhawks. They were winning 7-0 after the opening 15 minutes of play. Hanneran looking for his second goal of the game. Tries to fire this one, but misses it well right to Dustin Hill, who started this game, was pulled after the 7th goal and replaced again after the 11th. Riley Hess denied by Coot. Now a chance for the Snipers. Smith missed the target. .148 away from the halftime break here at Children's Arena here on the first day of February. It's a cold one out there, but the lacrosse action is heating up here in the East Division. The Snipers were looking to get back to 500 here today, but man, they've dug themselves a bit of a hole to say the least. Behind Dustin Hill, it's the Steelhawks looking for even more offense with the double-digit lead. Pfeiffer to his teammate who rips this on onto the net, or Pana again on the hat-trick watch, but the officials said no, that did hit the goaltender and therefore they get possession back. Approaching the final minute of the first half. And shooting and scoring is Sinfield. A nice move to split the defense, found the seam and fires it behind Dustin Hill. It's lucky number 13 in the game for the Steelhawks, again, coming in undefeated at 7-0. Man, oh man, if you told me that the Snipers were going to give up 23 goals in one game and possibly even more the next game, I would have called you downright foolish. And yet, after losing 23-11 to Brampton in their last contest, they find themselves trailing 13-2 before the halftime break here in Oshawa, Ontario on your Saturday afternoon. Ty Argent, who scored the first goal of this game for the Snipers, trying to find a seam with 17 seconds left in possession. Crosses the floor. And a beautiful backdoor play, but Lucas Coot denies it. And the officials are calling a cross-checking penalty behind the play. I believe Nate Woods is getting called for the cross-check, and he'll head off to the sin bin here with 37.1 seconds remaining in the opening half. Woods, the Ottawa, Ontario native, has 20 points coming into this game. He played 4 years of varsity lacrosse at South Carleton High School, where he captained both as a junior and as a senior. And it looks like we are getting a quick break in the action here from Children's Arena on your Saturday afternoon. Before the Snipers go back to the power play, we'll be back with more action. 7.1 seconds remaining after the Six Nations Snipers took a timeout with a power play looming, down by 11 here on the road before the halftime break. And keep an eye on Dustin Hill. We'll see if he crawls out of the net potentially for an extra attacker with the half-minute looming. So the Snipers trying to set up their power play, who came into this game operating at 52%. Although a 67% penalty kill by the Steelhawks is one of the best in the league. The Snipers lose the ball, but they get it back. Briley Maxwell with 11 seconds left. Looks like Hill's gonna stay in the net. Interesting, but you know what? That was the right call as Lucas Coot got the loose change and fires it down the blue carpet. The final seconds come off the clock, and it's a 13-2 lead for the undefeated Whitby Steelhawks going in to the halftime break against the 3-4 Snipers. We'll be back with the second half of action here from Children's Arena in Oshawa, Ontario. Welcome back to Children's Arena here on your Saturday afternoon. It was a 7-0 game after the first 15 minutes of play here from Children's Arena for the team that ironically is 7-0 coming into today's affair in the Whitby Steelhawks. The Snipers did get goals from Ty Argent on the power play and Kanori Sugihara even strength to give them the 2 markers they have after the opening 30 minutes of play. But man, oh man, Dustin Burkoff with 2 goals, Owen Orpana with 2 goals, Liam Aston with 2 goals. A lot of hat-trick watches here to be had here in the second half. Hopefully these fans are willing to lose all their chapeaus because there's a potential for a lot of hat-tricks. Dustin Hill was the starting goaltender, was pulled after the first 7 goals, then replaced back into the game after the 11th marker was put on Jackson Longboat, who did replace him. Boissonneau, who did score the overtime winner, albeit short-handed, in the last game against the Toronto Monarchs, wins this over Sugihara at mid-floor, and away we go on Arena Lacrosse League action in the second half. Handley right in, and Dustin Hill with a sharp stop 10 seconds into the frame. McLaughlin, the assistant captain, puts on the brakes at mid-floor, changes up personnel, and now Ty Argent, who scored the first goal of the game for the Snipers, that made it an 8-1 contest, now has the biscuit. Drops it back for Patterson. Patterson looking for a seam. Patterson trying to go top corner. Denied by Lucas Coote. The ball took an awkward bounce off the boards. It eludes the Snipers. And now Boissonneau will feed his teammate. Boissonneau avoiding Ty Argent into Sniper territory. Short-handed for another 28 seconds are the Steelhawks with 10 seconds left on possession. Pfeiffer, 1-on-3. Pfeiffer, short-handed, continuing just to run out the clock and then flips it down to the goaltender. The Snipers have 10 seconds left. Remember, they started this power play with 37 seconds left in the second frame. Their coach took a timeout. However, Dustin Hill never ended up going to the bench for a potential 6-on-4 situation. Argent retreating, bounces this one off the floor to Patterson. Patterson crosses the floor, gets it back. Patterson launches into this one, denied by the defenseman. I believe that was Boissonneau actually getting involved in that play. Now Faraday through mid-floor to Highland. Highland just going to lethargically walk this one into the Snipers' territory with nobody around him. Now here comes some pressure. Highland looking around his options, harassed by Hess. Highland gets the ball back, crosses the floor, and they score! Dustin Hill is beaten down low by Braden McGregor, and now it is a 14-2 game. So again, the Snipers had that power play to end the second frame, and to start the third frame, they weren't able to do anything with it, and what do you know, as soon as we go back to even strength, the Steelhawks take over yet again with the offense. A team, by the way, in the Steelhawks that is 28-plus goals differential coming into today's game. The Snipers, large in part to the fact that they lost their last game by 12, had a -10 goal differential coming into this game. 95 goals scored, 105 goals given up. They've now given up 119 so far in 2025. Luke Keenan, denied by Hill, got his own rebound back, finds Cameron York, who scored in that second frame. Crawling around the screen to Goodchild. Goodchild, who scored on the power play, the first one of the game for the Steelhawks. Hill makes the save. Eric Poirier with the exit plan for the visitors. Zulian across mid-floor, gives it to the trailer off the bench and Kalen Smith. Smith to Steinbach Parker. Steinbach Parker down low, Bomberry scores! His 14th goal of the campaign, he leads the Snipers with 27 points. Bomberry's been instrumental in the Snipers this season. Remember, he had a 6-point game in the first win for the Snipers in that 18-13 victory over the Oshawa Outlaws earlier this year. But if you are Coach Powless and assistant coach Longboat on the bench for the Snipers, you got to see a lot more of that here in the second half to make this a game again. Sugihara to the near side now to Vandenberg. Couldn't handle the pass cleanly and now does off the wall. Vandenberg to the near wall now to Whitlow. Whitlow to the trailer off the bench and Briley Maxwell. Maxwell looks to fire this one and scores! Briley Maxwell with his first of the contest, and just like that, back-to-back goals by the Snipers here in the third. Maxwell, an Edmonton, Alberta native with his 10th marker of the season, his 20th point. He came in with 5 power play goals and a shorty. He played for the RMLL's Edmonton Miners. The Miners ended up hosting the Minto Cup back in 2023. Sugihara with the clean, or Sugihara I should say, with the clean face-off win. But it is Whitby getting the ball right back. Hill denies the captain and Osborne. Osborne rolls this on the carpet. Looks like Whitlow and Hanley were going at it behind the play. On the end wall, that's Luke Keenan. Trying to trap it was Hill. The defense has an exit plan. Zulian through mid-floor. Jaden Patterson from Zulian. Patterson into the seam. That's Colton Armitage. Steinbach Parker. Trying to shoot this one low. Big stop. That was Jeremy Bomberry looking for a second helping here in the third. Now trying to go over the back. A cheeky play that time was denied as Patterson had the opportunity. Now Highland. The officials call this play back as Highland and the Steelhawks will still be able to set up in Snipers territory with the 10-goal lead. Liam Aston on the hat trick watch. Into that far corner. It is Aston trying to settle it down. Nice backdoor pass, and the Steelhawks score. I believe leading the gate is Cole Hannaran. That should be his second goal of the game. It was either him or Landon Sinfield. Sinfield, it would also be his second goal of the game, so really no difference there. And every time the Snipers get a goal or two, and it seems like all of a sudden maybe there's a possibility we got a game on our hands, the Steelhawks shut it down immediately. So they are giving the goal to Cole Hannaran. Again, that's his second marker of the game. That means he's now the 4th Steelhawk on the hat trick watch here on your Saturday. A beautiful save from Lucas Coote as a cheeky shot from the Snipers almost brought them within 10 again. So with 10 minutes remaining in the third, Ty Argent trying to elude the defender, goes across the floor. Whitlow looks to the skies as he misses the net from Lucas Coote's left side. They're announcing the 50-50 winners here at Children's Arena. As it is, the Steelhawks again looking to go to 8-0 here on your Saturday afternoon with a healthy 11-goal lead. Cameron York spinning around and trying to get this towards the net is Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer took a little extra chop after that shot. Now Dustin Hill with a shoulder shrug to his right side. It goes into the Six Nations bench though, which should give Whitby the ball back. Pfeiffer starts it all off through Luke Keenan. Keenan to the near wall now. And there's another stop by Hill, this time off of Landon Sinfield. And Wittich, I believe, might be getting a penalty here, is getting thrown down to the blue carpet. Behind the play was Pfeiffer. They had been going after him an awful lot over that last 30 seconds. And as a result, there is a cross-checking penalty being called. And it sends Whitby back to the power play. So again, a power play that was operating at 57% coming into today's game. Another stop by Hill. No, he didn't get enough of it, and it rolls in for the hat trick. Liam Aston with the hat trick makes it a 16-4 game. Currently going to Guelph University where he plays lacrosse. He's now got 14 goals on the campaign and over 25 points so far here in 2025. But to say this has been a bit of a one-sided affair would be a bit of an underestimate. 9 minutes remains here in the third. Lucas Coote steals the ball away from Whitlow, but the officials say, no, 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 you got to give it back. So Liam Aston, the first one to grab a hat trick for the Steelhawks. Remember, Orpana, Burkhoff, and as well as Hannaran all had multiple goals so far in this contest. Lunging in there was Braden Hoshman. I think with a healthy 12-goal lead, the coach and DeGurden is just trying to give all opportunities across the board right now for the home squad and their lineup. Trying to go through the defense with a give and go was Jaden Patterson. They couldn't collect it though, and now on the far corner, it's Ty Argent. Argent to Steinbach Parker. Steinbach Parker launches into this one, and Lucas Coote makes the save. The Whitby bench applauds their Whitby native goaltender for making the stop. Remember, he's already won back-to-back ALL championships with Oshawa and Whitby back in 2017 and 18 respectively. Steinbach Parker going low, tried to go to the 5-hole, and Coote shuts the door. So Hoshman actually will go off to the bench now and will allow the Steelhawks in that far corner to the near side now. Out of the reach, though, of Hannaran, and now a chance the other way for Jerry Stotts. The Snipers take a shot, but the official was blowing the play off. Richie Albert thought he had a golden opportunity. Now, the Snipers at least do keep possession, and wisely, they're going to backtrack and set up all the pieces on the chessboard, so to speak. Jeremy Bomberry. Now it's Steinbach Parker. Steinbach Parker going to his far side. Give and go. Interrupted, though, this time from John Weller. And now it's Highland. Highland sprung in there. Cat-like reflexes from Dustin Hill to deny number 17 on the board for the home team. Allen to Steinbach Parker. Steinbach Parker's been out there an awful lot. The Fort Erie, New York native leads the team with 18 assists coming into today's game. A bouncer on Coote. The loose change rolled out, but then the goalie covers it up. Whitlow sends a sniper barreling down to the blue carpet in Argent, but now with 7 minutes remaining in the third, Whitby's got an exit plan. Hamley puts on the brakes as he got into the visitor zone. Waits for the trailer now in Orpana, who's already got 2 goals in this game. Orpana to Goodchild, to the far side now. Aston, who's already got a hat trick in this game, looking for number 4, a diving stop by Hill. Aston looks a little banged up though after that play. He's hobbling to the bench. Orpana now back into the sniper's zone. Into this near corner now, and a chance for the shot. The shooting lane opened right up for Goodchild, but he didn't pull the trigger. Sinfield to Orpana, is trying to go low, and the officials saying it went in. It must have hit the inner bar. It looked like the post from here, but the officials say that Owen Orpana has joined Liam Aston in the hat tricks, as now both of them have 3 goals in this game. We're on the far wall here at Children's Arena looking at the game from the, the fans' perspective, if you will. And honestly, from my angle, it looked like it hit the inside of the goalpost, but the official, way closer, doesn't have any fans or mesh in his way, probably had a better perspective on the matter. So, Sugahara in! Oh, and the ball just wouldn't cooperate as he was looking for his second goal of the game. And before Osborne could spring in on a break, it looks like Whitlow might be taking a penalty here for the Snipers. Wes Whitlow, an Oshawa, Ontario native, 20 points coming into this game. He had 12 points last season here in the Arena Lacrosse League. Now interesting, the sin bin door opened and Whitlow went into his bench. So the Six Nations Snipers door still open. We'll see who the officials decide to put in after this break here from Children's Arena on your Saturday afternoon. It was a 7-0 game for the Whitby Steelhawks after the opening frame. It was 13-2 at half, and now after a 4-2 third frame from the home team, they are enjoying a 13-goal lead by a 17-4 scoreboard. Now, interesting, I thought Whitlow was getting a penalty, but according to the officials, we're remaining on 5 aside. They had opened up the Snipers' penalty box doors, but then quickly closed it. Won't matter to the Steelhawks whether they are on a power play or even strength. They've been dominating in this game. The assistant captain, McLaughlin, a chance to race on in. Stop point blank from Lucas Coote. Now Bryson Stotts picks up the loose change to the trailer. Coote with another save, this time on Briley Maxwell. Sinfield in. Hill with the stop as there was a loose stick in the Snipers zone. Going back to get it is Bryson Stotts. Eric Poirier out-battled in that far corner right now from Cameron York. York into the near corner to Sinfield. Sinfield down low. 10 seconds left on possession. An underhand pass missed the intended target, and this will be over and back, giving the visitors the possession. Snipers wearing their orange visitor jerseys today, and the Whitby Steelhawks with that white, but with the lime green and black trim. What I did enjoy and we don't catch here on this broadcast was both teams warming up. Didn't matter if it was a Whitby or Six Nations. They were all wearing Every Child Matters shirts, which is pretty cool. So Patterson looking for a seam. Took a bit of a chop up high. Now he's got a shot to go down low. And Lucas Coote with another save in this game. Remember, for Lucas Coote, he came in with a 1073 goals against average and an 815 save percentage, 185 saves over 240 minutes. All those numbers are going to go in the right direction for the Whitby goaltender. As another goal here from Cole Hannaran, and it will make it, well, a little too much to not enough right now from Children's Arena. A 14-goal lead by Whitby. And again, Whitby's coming off of an entertaining 19-18 victory in this barn over the Toronto Monarchs, where they scored shorthanded in overtime. Not a betting man, but I'm going to wager that we're not going to see extracurricular lacrosse out of this game. Sugahara to Argent. Those two have combined for the first 2 goals of the game for the Snipers. Loose change goes to Zulian, who goes to the near side now to Kalen Smith. Smith crawls down the near side. Smith with a seam, takes a shot, he's denied. Throw down to the blue carpet was Whitlow. They're bouncing around for the ball in the crease, and somehow keeping that out was Lucas Coote. With the big lacrosse stick, he somehow scooped it over the goal line and kept it out. Potentially the 5th goal of this game for the Snipers, denied by the Whitby goaltender. 8 seconds left on possession. This one hit the goal post and goes over the mesh, giving the Snipers the ball and fresh possession. So 20 seconds back on the possession clock. 3:18 remains here in the third frame. Ty Argent, who's already gotten a goal in this game, was trying to fight off Jerry Stotts. And I got to beg my pardon, I got my Stotts mixed up earlier. It was Travis Stotts that got in that fight with Burkhoff, and those two served game misconducts as a result. The errant pass is gobbled up by Boisano. Now he'll go to the near side now. Hill with the stop. The ball's just rolling around in the crease, and eventually settling it down is Patterson. He finds Avery Steinbach Parker. He's going to try and use his speed to get away from the Whitby defender. Steinbach Parker trying to do it himself. A kick save this time from Lucas Coote to his left side. In that corner, battling away, Cody Hamley, the assistant captain. They battle for it now on the end wall, and Whitby will come away with possession. Osborne crosses the mid-floor. I notice he's wearing his Brooklyn Lacrosse Club helmet here today as Mr. Osborne, the captain for the Whitby Steelhawks. Mr. Lacrosse for this area, safe to say. Great ball movement by the Steelhawks, not being able to cap off the play, though, was Sinfield. And now Vandenberg is sprinted out from his goaltender, and Hill with the elongated pass. Vandenberg's shot, though, that might have missed the barn, as now it is Boissonneau collecting it at the mid-floor. 1-on-2, he goes in and fires this one just wide to the right side of the Six Nations netminder. Boissonneau not being able to handle the John Weller pass. 18 seconds left on possession. $1:40 remaining here in the third frame. 18 goals poured in by the Steelhawks. Remember, they poured in 19 last game, and they had to because we were tied up at 18-18 after 4 quarters of lacrosse action. This one hit the wall, hit the stanchion, hit a little bit of everything here at Children's Arena, and it does give the Snipers the biscuit back. Trying to settle this down away from Osborne was Kalen Smith. He'll find Ty Argent. Argent to the far side now, bouncing this off the floor, and receiving it is Kalen Smith. 9 seconds left on possession. Great defense by Nate Woods, not allowing any breathing room for the Snipers' offense. And now the Steelhawks take back over here in the final minute of the third on your Saturday afternoon from Children's Arena in Oshawa, Ontario. Again, the first meeting between these two teams in 2025. Whitby's looking to improve to 5-0 here at Children's Arena. As Hill makes a nice save, the loose change rolls into the far corner, though, where it's collected again by Whitby. And Hill's going to have to go left to right, right to left like a radio dial right now, just trying to track down the ball. A beautiful pass and a point-blank stop from Hill. And actually, I think I have to correct myself, partner. I think that's Longboat back in the net right now. Yeah, so I apologize. Another goalie change. Twice in a row they've changed goalies, so Hill's been replaced twice in this game by Longboat. And remember, it was 7-0 for the Sniper, 7-0 I should say, for the Steelhawks when they originally took out Dustin Hill for Longboat. After Longboat gave up the 11th goal, they put Hill back in. But Longboat with a great save at the end of that third frame, giving the Sniper fans some hope here as the season continues. It is 18-4, though, for the undefeated Steelhawks after 3 quarters of lacrosse. We got the fourth on the other side. Welcome back to Children's Arena here in Oshawa, Ontario. The city of Oshawa is situated on the lands of the traditional and treaty territories of the Mississauga and Chippewa and Anishinaabe and signatories of the Williams Treaties, which includes the Mississauga of Scugog Islands, Hiawatha, Curve Lake, Alderville First Nations, and the Chippewa of Georgina Island, Rama, and Bosolo First Nations. We recognize that Oshawa has steeped rich history of Indigenous First Nations people and is the present-day home for many First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. Thanks for joining us on your Saturday afternoon for the medicine game here, as it is the Steelhawks with a healthy 14-goal lead after the first 3 stanzas have been in the books. Arguably, it was the best quarter, though, for the Snipers in that third. They did score 2, and they only gave up 5, as they're going to deny this goal. I thought it was going to roll in anyway, but they're going to say that Nate Woods touched it as it was in the crease, denying that marker. So the Snipers get lucky, and as I say that, they do so again as the ball was going to bounce into their bench, but hit the top dasher and stays into their possession. Having his stick tied up was Whitlow. This brings Osborne the other way. Osborne looking to go top corner. He already did that in the second frame. This time it's Longboat denying him. The Snipers and Jeremy Bomberry. He's actually going to go off for a change. It's Steinbach Parker trying to back down a defender in Ferrerde. Now Steinbach Parker underhands this to the top of the world. There's nobody home. and nobody is chasing down the Skyhawk right now. And Hoshman, who goes in and scores. I mean, if there was ever a living example of deflated tires, it was that last play. Steinbach Parker, a lackadaisical pass to the top of the key, nobody home, and then to make matters worse, nobody got on their horse back on that play, and as a result, Horseman went in there and makes it 19-4. So the Steelhawks are 13-36 away from improving to 8-0 here in 2025. And again, they scored 19 goals in their last game, and they needed to because it was 18-18 over to Toronto Monarchs. And it was Boissonneau short-handed that ended up getting the game winner in this building. So the rest of this game is somewhat of a formality at this point, although don't say that to the Snipers, as Eric Poirier, I believe, snipes this one home. So they make me chew my tongue right off on that play. I said, hey, maybe they're giving up. They've kind of fallen into a coma here a little bit. No. Poirier says they're going to snap right out of that. So good on Eric Poirier. Brings his team within 14 here with under 14 to go in the game. And that was Richie Elbert on the draw that time for the Snipers. Luke Keenan looking to grab this pass and does. Keenan behind the play. Oh my word. A little tic-tac-toe perfection that time as Orpana crossed it over the floor. And I'm just trying to pick up the number here this time. That's Cameron York, I believe, capping off the play. But there was some bewildering passes going on that possession by Whitby, and as a result, they were able to, get the 20th goal on the board. Whitby already came into this game averaging 15.6 goals per game and had a plus 28 goal differential. It's the reason why they're the number one team in the league right now. As Lucas Coote is crawling out of his net, is there a delayed penalty coming up here? I'm not too sure. If there was, you'd think he would just go to the bench for the extra attacker. Maybe he's getting a little bored down there in the Whitby zone. As the jamboree for the biscuit, possession goes, and the Snipers will get the ball back. And as I look down the blue carpet, Coote will go back between the pipes. So it looks like there is a slashing penalty being called here. And Vandenberg, no, I apologize, Hess? A Sniper is in the box for slashing, that's all I can tell you here, folks, and they're down by 15. Pfeiffer on the power play, looking to go back to work. Pfeiffer steps into this one and scores. Blackjack Pfeiffer makes it 21 on the board for the Steelhawks here. Again, a gentleman that came in leading this team with goals of 15, assists with 30, and points with 45. He had 7 power play goals coming into this game, folks. He's now got 8 to lead the league. So Kanori Sugihara back at mid-floor. He's beaten on the draw by Ferrerde. And now nobody's even focusing on the ball as Eric Poirier went after the Steelhawk. And Hoshman didn't even have possession of the ball. So things are, that's an understatement, going from bad to worse. No, that was in the second or third frame if you're a Snipers fan. 16 goals separate these two teams with 12:08 remaining on the board. And again, the Snipers find themselves back in the sin bin. So after Pfeiffer just scored a power play goal, Whitby goes back to work. Goodchild to the near side. This one hits traffic. It was a Hannerin looking for a power play marker. Wittich from the goalie and longboat. Short-handed, Wittich crawls down the near wall. Patterson to a teammate with 18 seconds left still to kill here on this minor penalty. That's Colton Armitage. And Goodchild will grab this ball. Well, he was actually going to try and waste possession, and he wisely didn't want to pick it up right away. That kills a couple extra seconds here off of the fourth quarter clock. So man, oh man, it's been a busy day for the Steelhawks. Dustin Burkoff, Cole Hannaran, Owen Orpana, Dustin Burkoff, Tyler Goodchild, Liam Aston twice over, Liam Osborne, Devin Pfeiffer, Cameron York, Devin Pfeiffer, Landon Sinfield, Braden McGregor, Cole Hannaran, Liam Aston, Owen Orpana, Nate Woods, Brandon Hoshman, and Cameron York all in on the action. And Longboat looked behind him, but the ball hit him and went into that far corner, allowing Hess and the Snipers to take over. And for Snipers fans out there, remember it was Ty Argent getting the first goal of the game. Kanori Sugahara grabbed one to make it the second goal. Bomberry and Maxwell and Eric Poirier make up the 5 on the board. Argent sprung loose into the zone, but his teammate couldn't find him. Now Steinbach Parker, 1-on-3, trying to scoop this to a teammate. Just too many numbers to deal with for one player. Osborne could have gone on the attack, but you know what? With a 16-goal lead, he wisely looks up at the clock, puts on the brakes, and gives us to a teammate off the bench in Owen Orpana. Being spilt down to the floor is Pfeiffer. We've seen that happen quite a lot in the second half. You can tell the Snipers are not too fond of him. As he goes back to work here offensively, tries to go short side. Longbow with the nice save. Orpana from the corner, Pfeiffer. That either hit Longboat or the post to his left side. Regardless, gives a fresh 20 to the home team. 21-5, the Steelhawks lead here on your Saturday afternoon. Looking to go to 8-0 on the regular season. The Snipers look like they're going to drop to 3-5 here on the year, and they're actually going to go on a 3-game losing streak. Remember, the last time they won a game was 15-9 over the Oshawa Bears back on January 12th at the Iroquois Lacrosse Arena. Big save by Lucas Coote gets the applause from the Whitby bench with 9:09 remaining here in the game. And a bit of confusion over who's going to take over possession here. I think it's going to be Sniper's ball, though. And again, for the Snipers, this team averaged 13.6 goals per game coming into this contest. They only have 5 so far here with 9 minutes remaining in the game. Argent looking for his second goal of the game. Missed it off the end boards. Keeping it in was Briley Maxwell. Patterson harassed, has to get the shot off and does. Stopped by Coote. Now at mid-floor, stolen away by McLaughlin. Shot wide off the end boards, doubled over. The Snipers had 2 chances towards the net, and both times they went over the crossbar instead on Lucas Coote. Steelhawks taking over here with 8.5 to go in the fourth. Despite the fact that it was Hess sending Nate Woods tumbling down to the blue carpet, it's actually the Snipers and Whitlow back the other way, right in front of the net. Big save by Lucas Coote. So nice, he'll do it twice. Man, oh man, the Snipers potentially could have gotten back into this game if it wasn't for the outstanding efforts of the Whitby goaltender and Lucas Coote here at Children's Arena. Osborne in front of the bench of Daggerton. The head coach has to be awfully pleased with his team's efforts. And as I say this one sneaks behind Longboat, and it's the 22nd goal on the board for the Steelhawks. Looks like Highland is being congratulated on the bench after that last goal with 7:59 remaining here on the fourth quarter clock. Want to give a big shout out to Mr. Beatty doing all the excellent camera work here for us. And I'm Jonathan Urbanowicz, happy to take you through Arena Lacrosse League action here in the East Division. It's the best team in the Arena Lacrosse League looking to stay undefeated. Currently 7-0, could be 8-0. Now Sugahara was a bit of a 55-on-55 violence that time, but it's Sugahara that's going to actually go off to the penalty box. He was mixing it up with Brandon Hoshman, and the officials are actually sending the sniper to the box. So the Steelhawks once again going back to the power play, a power play that was just successful through their captain and Liam Osborne. Actually, I apologize, the last power play goal was from Devin Pfeiffer. Liam Aston's also had a power play goal in this game, as well as Tyler Goodchild back in the first quarter. Goodchild has it now, was trying to feather it through a seam, now right in front of the net, and they score. McGregor adds to the power play tallies right now by the Steelhawks. It's 23-5. Oh, have mercy. And again, a quick reminder that the Steelhawks are back in action next Friday night at Brampton to take on the Express at 8 p.m. That game takes place at the Brampton Memorial Arena. For the Snipers, who now look like they're going to lose their third game in a row and drop to 3-5 on the regular season, their next game will be next Saturday on the road versus the Toronto Monarchs at 2 p.m. at the Toronto Rock Athletic Center. Orpana pretty much running this ball around the world from in front of his own bench to the mid-floor. Now it's McGregor who just got a power play marker. Back to Orpana. Orpana steps into this one. Longbow with the save. He'll scoop up the rebound. He's looking to go down the floor and does. Finds Eric Poirier. Poirier to a teammate. Great goal by Whitlow. So Longbow to Poirier, Poirier to Whitlow, and Whitlow finds the top corner. And as a result, with 6:56 remaining in the fourth, the Snipers from Six Nations have their sixth goal of the game. Can you get a 20-goal goal in lacrosse? That's something that the Snipers are going to be looking to do in the next 6:55 in order to try and make this a game again. So being double teamed at the mid-floor right now is Ferrerde. Ferrerde somehow got the ball back, and he's going to keep going. He's like the Energizer Bunny right now, refusing to be denied. Whitby with the scoop, and now it's Pfeiffer with 6.5 remaining in the game. Pfeiffer trying to go low on the far side, and then an innocent shot by Luke Keenan rolled down to Longboat and the goaltender. Ty Argent, who got the first goal of this game for Six Nations, as I mentioned before, actually was a Buffalo Bandits draft pick in the 5th round back in 2020 in the NLL. As the officials, I believe, are going to call an officials timeout here with 6:04 remaining in the fourth frame. It's Arena Lacrosse League action in the East Division between the Steelhawks and the Snipers here from Children's Arena. Back to the action here in Arena Lacrosse League. It's 6:04 remaining here in the fourth. A little too much to not enough action. It's a 17-goal lead for the host Steelhawks, looking to go to 8-0 here on your Saturday afternoon. Steelhawks, relentless on the offense. They have not put their foot on the brakes one time over these 60 minutes of lacrosse that's been planned. Keeping this from going over the halfway mark was Landon Sinfield, but only temporarily as the Snipers eventually take over. Zulian had the pass elude him. Zulian avoids a hit from a fellow 7 in Sinfield, now takes a shot onto Coot and he denies him. Spilling down to the floor was Patterson. He'll pick himself up. Back the other way is the Steelhawks. Kick saved by Longboat. Good thing he didn't cut his toenails this morning because he got just enough of it to the right side. Sugahara back the other way. Looks to give it to the trailer. A nice spin move. Whitlow was trying to get a little too fancy that time. Had the forehand opportunity, tried to go behind his back. Now Coote just shoulder shrugs this one through his crease. Coote has given up 6 goals in this game, but remember, he had a 1073 goals against average coming into this game, so all of his numbers are going to improve if the game continues this way. Wittich into Steelhawk territory. There's Whitlow. Steinbach Parker still looking for his first goal of this game. And once again, that's Stotts this time losing it. And now a 2-on-0 the other way. Led by Osborne, the captain, butterfingers, and the ball doesn't cooperate. Longboat looking to throw this one all the way down the blue carpet to Steinbach Parker. Steinbach Parker, great hands to retrieve that ball. Finds Argent. Argent, back door. Coote with a huge save. Kalen Smith as now Boycino the other way scores. Well, that perfectly summarizes this afternoon's game. One end of the rink, you got Coote making a great save and a point-blank opportunity for the Snipers. Boycino comes back the other way within a heartbeat on the break, and it's a 24-6 game with 4:02 remaining in the fourth. Probably should have done a little more research into the record books here in the ALL. Is this the most goals that Whitby's scored? It certainly is this season so far. But what's their franchise record is my question right now. As Snipers do respond. I believe that's Ty Argent sneaking it through Lucas Coote. It's his second goal of the game. As you hear the die-hard Sniper fans in the background still applauding their team's efforts with under 4 remaining in the game. Sugahara with the face-off win. Argent looking to go back on the attack, tried to feed a pass over. It's interrupted, though, by Whitlow. Whitlow creating separation. Whitlow with a nice move. Couldn't get the shot off, though. And as a result, it is the Steelhawks coming away with. The officials, though, are giving the Snipers the biscuit back with 3.5 remaining in this game. Jeremy Bomberry couldn't grab that last pass, and as a result, back the other way come the Steelhawks. Not allowing the real estate, though, that time was the Sniper defense. They set up behind Longboat in the net. Hoshman tries to take a shot. That deflected off of the stick of Bryson Stotts, and that should give Whitby the ball back, and it does. 3:05 remaining in the game. 24-7 is the scoreboard from Children's Arena. Orpana backtracks this to Luke Keenan. Into the near corner. Now it's Orpana from the cross-court feed. 2 seconds left. Bounces this one wide of Longboat. It gives the Snipers the ball back. Jaden Patterson through mid-floor. Rolls this on the blue carpet. I believe that's Avery Steinbach Parker. Leads in with his lead shoulder. Briley Maxwell on the near side. Steinbach Parker scores! Fire the laser beam. Avery Steinbach Parker finds the top corner. It's his first goal of this game, his 9th of the campaign. He came in leading the team in assists with 18 and points with 26. The guy's currently attending Brock University. Shoutouts to the Badgers. So with 2:28 remaining in the game, they're now only trailing the Steelhawks by a third of the score, right? Am I good at math still? 24-8, that's a third, right? Okay. Yes, I mean, I won't tell you how I got my grade 10 math credit, but it was cheating. Anyways, as Lucas Coote deflects this one to his left side. Actually, they're going to say it didn't hit the goaltender, but this shot did, so it put a fresh 20 on the board. Being hauled down to the floor was Jerry Stotts, and Well, it looks like he held a little bit of restraint there as he looked like he was very tempted to slash the Whitby Steelhawk beside him. Now Boissonneau, undetected, had that top corner to the right side on Longboat empty, but missed the target. $1.40 remaining on your Saturday afternoon. The Whitby Skyhawks looks like they're going to improve to 8-0, the only remaining perfect team in arena lacrosse. Remember, there is an 8-1 team in Langley, BC called the Shooting Eagles, but they already got one L on their record, so Whitby is still trying to chase some history here in 2025. Hoshman, who got a goal here in the fourth frame, looking to add to it, gets around Hess, tries to go over the top, and Longboat tucks his shoulder against that crossbar and denies the opportunity. Sugahara, who got a goal in the first quarter, is thrown down to the blue carpet by Ferrorde. Under a minute remaining in this game. McGregor in front of his own bench, being harassed by Zulian. Zulian pried the ball loose. And the officials are going to call an official timeout here with 46.6 left. Oh, there's a penalty shot being called. So there's too many men called. It's under the final minute, and as a result, a penalty shot is awarded. Oh, my word. I thought he was calling interference there for a couple seconds. So if you're Coach Daggerton, who are you going to throw out there would be my key question. Daggerton, by the way, it was announced last year that he would be the head coach for the Merchants Lacrosse Club team, a team that he actually played and captained for. So Boissonneau, who again had the short-handed overtime winner against the Toronto Monarchs in this barn last game, goes in on the penalty shot, denied by Longboat. It's been an interesting day for Jackson Longboat. Remember, he was the backup goalie for Dustin Hill. He came into this game when it was 7-0. He did give up 4 goals and was quickly replaced again by Hill. But then he came back into this game for a second time, and I won't lie to you, I thought he was pretty sharp in the first that stint where he gave up the 4 goals. And he has looked uber sharp in this last part of the fourth quarter. If they had gotten this form of Jackson Longboat for the full game, you might have had a contest right now. So Ty Argent with less than 35 seconds to go. Argent gets it back. Argent finds a seam, can't get it behind Lucas Coote though. And now the Steelhawks will come back the other way, led by Nate Woods. Woods, though, I think content with the clock situation to settle things down at mid-floor. So the Snipers will fall to 3-5 on the regular season. They're going to lose their first encounter against the Steelhawks in 2025. In their first game here at Children's Arena this year, they've now lost 3 games in a row, including 15-10 to Paris, 23-11 to Brampton, and it looks like with this clock winding down, 24-8 to the Whitby Steelhawks. The Steelhawks, by the way, 7-0. They're 3 seconds away from 8-0. And there goes the buzzer. Steelhawks win. Steelhawks win. They improve to an undefeated record of 8-0 here in 2025 and sit at the top of the ALL East standings. Oh yeah, they're in the top of the Arena Lacrosse League total standings too, with the lone team at 8-1 out west in the Shooting Eagles. I want to give a big shout out to Mr. Beatty, our camera here this afternoon, as well as our executive producer and Dan Malta. I'm Jonathan Urbanowicz. The Steelhawks win an exciting game here, to say the least, 24-8. Lucas Coote with a fantastic game between the pipes. He came into this contest with a 10.73 goals against average and an 8.15 save percentage. He'll now improve to 5-0-0, and this is a gentleman that's pretty much won lacrosse everywhere he goes, not only here in the ALL, but as well as the Creators Cup and the Canadian Lacrosse League, which is now defunct. He remains perfect, and so do the Steelhawks. For everybody here at Arena Lacrosse League, we want to thank you for joining in as the Steelhawks prevail and remain undefeated here in 2025.